to be here. If it's 11 a.m. Eastern time, it's the LinkedIn Live Hour of Empower. I'm so blessed to have Beverly Glazer back with us. Everybody knows Beverly, and if you don't, you should. The word of the day is collaboration. Chat is wide open. We really look forward to your comments, your thoughts, anything we can give you a positive takeaway to make your time and effort today worthwhile. Like I say, chat's open. Beverly's here. Why don't you share a little bit, Beverly, about what's new since last and what's your initial thoughts on collaboration? And we welcome the audience to share their thoughts on collaboration.
Yeah, well, first of all, Donald, I just want to thank you for having me come in and co-host and collaborate with you. And this show is all about collaboration. If we didn't have the family that's out there, we'd be talking to air.
Mm,
Collaboration is what everybody gives, what everybody puts into the pot. And then what we stir up, who knows what we get, because everybody has something to offer. And so when you think of collaboration, oh, yes, good morning, Vaneb. Yes, you're ready to collaborate with us? We want your collaboration. We need your collaboration. That's what a show is about, not just a show, life in general. If
hmm
we're living in our own little bubble, we stay in our heads and we don't get out of that bubble. There's no input, there's nothing else happening. So the more people we allow in, the more ideas we allow in, this lifts us higher. You could say, hey, you're like me in this area. I can contribute to what you need. You can contribute to what I need. That's what we were talking about. And business is all about collaboration. Family is all about collaboration. Otherwise, what happens? Boom, war.
hmm
So we have to learn to understand each other. We have to learn to understand that also if we partner and we find an area where we can have neutral ground, then we can always contribute. It always works together as long as we can open it up and see how can you help me? How can I help you? Let's put it together. So I'd love to hear what people have to say, and I'd love to also hear what you have to say, Donald, because we were talking about collaboration a little bit before, and it's just also on point with what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And you do such a great job of defining it, sharing it, and doing it in a convincing way. And, when I think of collaboration, again, that's what this all is built on. And sometimes if you take the word, I was just thinking about it as Beverly was sharing, is it reminds me of co-education, collaboration, because you're learning from each other all the time, because the more you share, the more people have to choose from. And even if it's confirming what they already know or making them start to question a little bit of what they know. So now it's like, you became curious as I didn't know that could happen, or I didn't know you could do that. And then you have somebody who not just gives you information like Google or YouTube, but can
Mhm.
give you context, can explain it to you. And so, how many times are you challenging yourself to figure something out that you know somebody else knows? And the only difference is, are you in a position where you can reach out to them and they'll reach back? And that's where
Yes,
the goodwill, that's where being proactive, that's why making investments are important. You know,
yes.
I was just thinking the reason why a lot of people are poor in whatever area is because they can't afford to get rich, right?
I love that.
Yeah, I
I
just
love
wanted
that.
I said they can't afford the training, the coaching, the classes. So what
Yes,
they do is they look for free, and it's
yes,
natural. But
yes.
free is only free because it doesn't have much value or everybody else gets it the same way. And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that's really what people have to look at is if you don't have money, you do have time, right?
Yes.
And if you
Yes.
use your time going to things like this, reaching out to people like myself and Beverly and everybody else
Yes.
in a way that attracts them to you.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. What happens is when, I mean, everybody gives something for free, right? But, and you should, and I mean, you should be generous, I believe, with your time, with your energy, with other people. I believe that that is so, so very important. However, if you want more, you have to collaborate. Collaboration is growth. And, I go back to this silly little stuff, right? But it's not so silly. We try to teach our children collaboration as from the very beginning. And one way to look at it is fairy tales, right? They're all about little messages that we give to children. And when I was thinking of collaboration, I was thinking of story, and I was thinking also of Three Little Pigs, right? So we all know the Three Little Pigs story. It's the house of bricks and the house of sticks and the house of straw and the big bad wolf. Okay, so he blows out the first little pig. Now, did the little pig go out and fight the wolf alone? Could have, but no, no, no. Ran to his brother. What do we do? There's a wolf after me. Well, come on in, my friend. I have a stronger house. And we go down to the big one, right? Finally, come on in, come on in. Let's work on this together. We'll dump water on the pig or whatever it is. But whatever it is, if you're working it alone, you work it alone, you are alone. Other people lift you higher. And it doesn't matter if you're fighting the wolf, because let's face it, we're fighting wolves out there every day, right?
Hmm.
And what do? We need help. We can talk and we can understand. And it's not just help we're talking about, it's what can I do for you? What can you do for me? And how can we make it work for each other? It's about us. And the pandemic, what an expression of collaboration is that? As we're all hiding in our house with our creams and our lotions, they're out there. They're scientists all over the world and health professionals and people involved in technology. And look at us today. We are so much better for it. Regardless, yes, we have variants and we can pick on all this stuff, but the world collaborated. How awesome is that when you think of that, Don? It's incredible when we all get together for a common cause. Awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think, that should be a guide that we shouldn't have to wait to be forced to work together or come together, and with the technology we have to be able to connect 30, 40, 50 people at one time every day with common interests, with aligned intentions. And the key to collaboration has to go beyond the education to the doing, right?
Yeah.
You collaborate so everybody has their knowledge set in
Yes.
line. And now it's like, now that we've gotten to know each other, gotten to learn from each other, how do we start doing things with each other and adding that to what we already believe in, that we're already making an investment? People who are here every day, if you've been here every day for 2 months, you put 60 hours into this show,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
Right? And that 60 hours would have been spent somewhere else that you might have and maybe gotten some benefit. So now,
And
go ahead.
yeah, I just have to add, you've invested in time. Time you can never get back. So when you've invested in time, you've done something, you've put energy into it. Everybody has something to give. And what Leslie has out there, she says, I think of the power of the mastermind. That is so true. A mastermind is all about people coming together. And it's not how much I know more than you. Yes, I know this, you know that, we put it together. And all of us has something to contribute, whether it's time, whether it's support for this community, whether it's giving back, whether it's giving information. I can do something well, you can do something well. That's collaboration. And that's wonderful. That's what LinkedIn Live is about. That's what my podcast is about, or Facebook groups are about. Collaboration means we all get better because of it. It's awesome.
That's
I'm
right.
sold.
And I'm sold. I'm selling even, so I'm sold. I'm bringing people into it because it's a new playing field. Everybody
Yeah.
gets to suit up in a different uniform, gets to play a different position, and now's the time for reinvention. And the key is with the ability to collaborate. And that's why even I added on the ticker, I added a collaboration plan with my website. So it allows people to say, how do I climb to the next level?
Mhm.
How do I get to work with somebody in areas that they've already shown me they're proficient at? They're entertaining, they're interesting, they're worthwhile. And I think the key is to Beverly's point, is if you put in 1,000 hours and you get back great satisfaction, education, entertainment, inspiration, great. But why not use that now and apply it to what your main interest is, or now maybe re-examine your main interest and see how you can leverage it. And
Yeah.
and having your voice and having yourself be seen is so much
Yes.
more valuable than just sitting in the background, or not even being in the background, being out of the stadium. So with that, let me get to all our wonderful
Yeah.
people.
Wonderful.
Renata, we mentioned here every day, same comments. I loved consistency,
Thank you.
and it demonstrates that. Petra's here. Good
Hey,
morning.
Petra.
Always great to see you, Petra. What a charm. Leslie, who everybody knows Leslie, and actually will be here this Saturday.
She's
Thank you,
great.
Leslie. Oh, yeah, she's always got
Oh, she's
something
great.
to say. See, we got fans with fans from fans. Hello, all. Let's collaborate. Ashif is terrific. Sent me a
Yes.
great email today. Dennis, agree. Reach out, but don't trash out. Be friendly. We all learn from each other, and the group gets better because everybody in the group gets a little better every day. Leslie says, okay, we talked about the mastermind. Here's a new name. Thank you for coming. Dennis,
Welcome.
yeah, agree, if we don't have money, we do need to collaborate and not debate, which may activate hate even with your, wow, that's a four rhymer. Victoria's here today. Great to see you, Victoria. Leslie says Napoleon Hill popularized it, definitely. Harvey Tuck is here, who is going to be launching his new show at
And it's coming up today, I think, 12:15, right?
12:15, and I'm going to
Yeah.
actually be the first guest, so I'm honored.
Awesome.
Collaboration is the key to success. When we work hard, we achieve a lot, but when we work together, we achieve the impossible. I watched a
Absolutely.
documentary about the James Webb Telescope, an amazing example of collaboration. We have the opportunity to do so much better, to do so much good, if we redirect what we're doing that is dividing people, is minimizing, marginalizing, intimidating. It's like
Mhm.
we have the power, and the only way we're going to use it is ourselves with someone else, not wait for the headlines to say, we just figured out. Ambambola's here. Great to see you.
I am.
Ambambola's been with us forever. Leslie says Benjamin Franklin called his mastermind a junto, and it lasted 40 years. Okay.
No
Ashif,
girls, no girls though.
no,
Right.
no,
We're back
no.
in though now, Leslie. We're
Yeah,
in.
for sure. And it's only going to keep going in that direction. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Collaborate,
Exactly.
create synergies. Because, in today's world, it's practical, it's pragmatic people are looking for. What can you
Yes.
do now? What can you do today? What can it's not the one day this may happen. People are anxious for change, and they're not finding it, but they can find it within themselves. Elizabeth is here. Elizabeth's a wonderful lady. Had a great conversation yesterday with her. She's actually going to have her first show Friday this week, so everybody stay tuned.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Well, see, Elizabeth, you already got boosters, and I'm out there, promoting every show until then. So thank you, Elizabeth. Dennis comes back with agree, use your hour of power. Remember, speaking clean is as important as a daily shower. And, doing is where it's at. Everything else gets you to that point. And if you don't actualize, activate, and really allow yourself to be everything that you already are and put it out there. Don't wait for the door to knock. That'll happen when it happens. Open the door. So with that, Beverly, we got a great audience. I can't thank them enough because of all the contributions and all the quality ways
Yeah.
in which everybody responds to each other and respects each other.
Yeah. And this is a collaborative show. Then LinkedIn is a collaborative medium. And it's also amazing with the internet how much we end up collaborating without even realizing that we're collaborating. And things just grow exponentially. And I'm just thinking of a story because I love story, right? And I'm just thinking, I meet some wonderful people on my podcast that I'd never ever meet before, as you do, Dawn, on this show. Like people come, right? And once you know their story, everything just opens up. Well, I was being interviewed. It was on a podcast for caregivers. Now, you know what happens with caregivers. We get drained, we get exhausted, we're taking care of others, right? Well, this was a podcast. And through that podcast, I met this woman who, okay, is actually a couple who lived in a van. These are nomads. They did not choose, they had their jobs. They decided, I'm not going to have a job anymore. I got rid of my house. The two of them traveled the US, lived in a van. This was a couple in their 40s. They wanted to live this really simple life, right? What could be simpler than that? They didn't have much money. They didn't even go to these trailer parks. Seriously, they went to Walmart parking lots to charge up. Okay. So keep it simple. They loved that life. And every now and again, of course, they'd write to their Facebook friends and they'd say where they are and what park they're at and da da da, whatever. Okay. Quiet people, quiet life. They came, though, every now and again to visit his mom and dad and, spend time with different friends and family members that they met along the way. Well, they came to his house, his parents' house, and they realized that his dad had really depreciated. The dad died shortly after, and the mom was trying to hide it, but she was also suffering from cancer. And it came to a point that while they were visiting, they really didn't know what to do. So we put her in a home. Some people take their parents and move into their family unit, right? What was their unit? It was a van. Okay. So what they said was, we're going to have to move. By the way, her name was Norma. And we're going to have to do something, Norma. And would you like to travel with us? Because after speaking to their doctor said, this is it. What do you have next? You either sell your property, you go into your own, old age facility. Eventually, this is going to happen to you. You're going to end up with tubes, et cetera, et cetera. We all know the drill, right? Or you can go on the road and go in the van and travel the country, because they offered generously to take this dying woman in her late 80s on the road. Well, they collaborated with different doctors. They didn't do this just haphazardly. And through this whole thing, though, they were discussing it on the internet with their friends. We're going to be taking Norma and we're driving through the US in the van, etc., etc. Well, this caught on. By the way, she was writing also because she's an author and she was just writing her stories and publishing them, etc. Well, as she's doing this, someone caught on this story on the internet. Boom. Okay. This couple is taking their dying mother on the road. Well, they were interviewed. And remember, these people wanted a totally quiet life, Dawn. They didn't want
Mhm.
anything. Okay. The story went viral. Okay. And all over, they were getting letters. They were getting, and it was just horrible for both of them. They were like in awe. But Norma was thrilled. Norma was saying, wow, where are we going next? And so they would go next, and where they would go, they would tell the specific town where they're passing through. And believe me, there were horns, there were old age, you know, people coming out in wheelchairs. It became such a thing, Dawn, okay, that now what she's doing is she's speaking to caregivers. By the way, if anyone's interested in my podcast, it's one of the episodes, Driving Miss Norma. You can check it out on Facebook and you can even buy the book on Amazon. It's worth everything. But the message is that other people, communities came out and they were starting to develop programs and collaborate and say, you know, these are our older people. And if they want a life, like that doctor said, you know, the doctor said when they made this decision, not haphazardly, they said, well, you know, this is the prognosis, okay, and the diagnosis. And what, you know, what would you do? Okay. And so she chose and she said, well, I'm going on the road. And he says, well, what do you mean on the road? So she says, well, what would you do if you had the choice to live your life to the fullest on the end or follow what you want me to do? So he says, you know what? That would be my choice too. So the bottom line is very often you do not know where you're motivating other people. And when you're thinking of this couple, who I'm sure is now living their very quiet life again, and you're also thinking of these TikTokers that go up there, Dawn, and they would love to be influencers like this. You know, you do not know the effect you have on other people. And other people are starting to collaborate and thinking in different ways. And that is what collaboration is, it's thinking. You're thinking not only what other people are doing, but what can I do for me? How can I make my life better? Maybe I can take care of my elderly people or run a rest home a little differently rather than just following the procedure. Ideas, ideas. That's what collaboration is all about. And I love that story. So, Aging with Purpose and Passion, by the way, if anyone wants to hear it, it's there and it's amazing. And they just did it because that's just who they are. And so, with no intention of collaborating, sometimes you do collaborate. And that's
Well, I
okay.
think
That's great.
that's a very relevant story, very interesting in a way that I look at collaboration more and more as you have to open to someone else's openness,
Yeah.
right? If you want to collaborate, you have to believe someone has something you don't know
Yes.
or has done something you might want to do and has experience. At the same time, you have to open your mind to change in your mind. So if you do
Yes.
get a better result, for example, you decide to upgrade to that new version, and now you have a sharing relationship that's been completed, right? You asked something, you got something, you integrated it. Now they're probably going to be inclined to now ask something from you, or you hope they do, because
Totally.
and if it was just a gift instead of a return gift, and from there you get to know each other. Just
Yes.
by the
Yes.
doing of the simple thing and through knowing each other and qualifying each other, you say, here is somebody I want to invest time in. I think if everybody looks at their time bank account every morning and at
Oh,
midnight
yeah.
you start with all 24 hours, where are you going to start making your investments? Well, you might decide, hey, I'll sleep a little bit tonight till whatever hour. And when I get up, how do I get up the best way I know how or can get up? Might be exercise, might be a nutritious meal, might be a book, might be any kind of routine that motivates you. And then you say, what's my next step? Because at a certain point, if you don't plan, life plans for you.
Oh, yes.
Every minute is going to come forward, whether you're ready or not, or interested or not. And if you just take a pass, how much of your life, talking about purpose, was actually applied? How many times did your bingo card get called and you forgot to put your hand up, right? And
Yeah.
how many wins have
Exactly.
you slept through? Or opportunities that were right in front of you, but you weren't aware of it or take action. But on the other side, erring on the side of reaching out to more is better than not reaching out at all or to less. And every rejection, if you can call it that, is feedback to now modify your new approach. You know, everybody that says no makes you think maybe it is no, and that's healthy. And then you
Yeah.
test it and check it out. I mean, someone can say, hey, I think we got a low tire. Well, you go out with your little gauge, you say it's okay, you get back in the car or not. Either
That's it.
way, being an objective individual in a collaborative relationship, right, doesn't filter things early or disqualify people. And at the same time, sometimes you got to be the better person for a while to keep the relationship going, right? If you like going out to lunch with someone who can't afford to go to lunch, you have to make a decision. Hey, I like that person. I enjoy being with them. I'll cover
Uh-huh.
lunch for a while. And that's okay
Uh-huh.
because you made an exchange with yourself to say, in the past, I would feel it's unfair. I got to foot the bill if that's what your mind says. But
Right.
it's not relating to the person, it's relating to you and something else. So let me cover some more people here. Uh,
Sure.
Dennis comes back with agree, be practical, not crackable. Leslie says, don't be afraid of what other people think of you. Absolutely. Harvey
Yeah.
is coming back with, I'm nervous about my show, but if it wasn't for the collaboration with Don and everyone here, I wouldn't be doing it. And a lot more. Thank you for the collaboration, for the friendship. So very welcome because, you know, when we talk about investing 60 hours, 90 hours, whatever hours, you've also gotten so many hours from everybody else. So in a sense, it wasn't like I gave, what did I get? I gave and I got returned. What did I apply? What did I use? But you know, the thing is the more you do anything, the less sensitive you are to it. You
Right.
know, because you're so used to doing it, it doesn't scare you anymore. It's not strange. It gets
Right.
familiar. And familiar makes you feel more comfortable. And that comes across in how you collaborate. You know, it's your music as much as your words. Leslie comes
Mm-hmm.
back with another reassurance for Harvey. Harvey, this show is unique and appeals to the real thinkers. It's a dry subject, yet with hats and props. Who knows? I say you're going to make a mark, my friend. Good for you. Kelly's here, another great supporter of Harvey and myself and everyone else. Good morning,
Good
fellow.
morning, Kelly.
And Kelly definitely has a collaborative heart. I mean, she is
Oh,
so
yes.
in so many
Oh, yes.
ways. Me and Beverly agree.
Yeah.
Well, we're collaborating for Kelly's benefit. Agree, the new KISS principle, keep it simple, smarty. On the road in your van can be Vanderbilt. Harvey comes back with Leslie. Thank you, Leslie. You're a big part of the collaboration, is inspiring me. And who knows, there may be a prop and a half on the show too. Well, keep everybody in suspense. That's what everybody can look forward to. Leslie Flower says, friends get friends together, Kelly. Harvey talk as she Petra, oh, you know, Wendy. I mean, we got them all, and it only gets
That's
better. And new
wonderful.
people, and
Yeah.
like that, you don't know the effect you are having on someone else, but that's so important. If nothing else, people remember how you made them feel. And you know, this show
Totally.
will play
Totally.
for maybe, who knows, for eternity. We're going to be affecting people and informing, inspiring people for years to come that we'll never meet or know. But these
Yeah.
words have value, and you can't think and judge in the moment. You invest in
Yeah.
the moment, and then you continue to invest, and then eventually it starts to appear in return. But you need the patience, the belief, the trust. And if you're so happy and excited in what you're doing, you definitely are doing the right thing. And that's why other people's opinion, you know, that's another thing. When you're so sure, when you're confident, you don't want to question it with other people, right? Question things you have questions on. Don't take something that you have full confidence and you're almost inviting someone
Yeah. Yeah.
to find a flaw that you'll never forget once someone points it out. You know,
Yeah. I,
you get what you
I,
look for. Go ahead, Beverly.
I'm just laughing because I'm just looking at the comments, and the comments are so great because everybody is collaborating. And that's what it's really about. Kelly says, right now, love that story, Beverly, but it's like, I love you guys, Kelly says, and because of Leslie, he says, Kelly says, Harvey, you're going to crush it. And Kelly says, Harvey Tech, wow. Like, it's support. And that's what collaboration is. And, some people hate support. They hate reaching out for support. And, my thought was, as I was talking to you, Donna, before, I was in a conference this weekend and it was like all day, all like pretty well into the night because it came from California and here I am in Canada. So we had that time difference of whatever. Anyway, the bottom line was I was in a group because although it was all online, still have these groups. I was in a group and they were talking about support, and these were all people with huge companies, and then of course me trying to learn all these things, which are just absolutely awesome. But I've always been working alone. I wasn't working for institutions. I was always alone, and now I'm developing a company. Holy, who knew it? But that's what it is. And the bottom line was there was this woman, and she has, or her company is a few $1 million, and she's in Europe. And she said, this is something I want to expand. I want to sell. I intend on retiring this year. And she said, I have the hardest time with support. And I know that I cannot reach the next level until I get support. And this is, it's a huge company, millions, etc. She founded it, she developed it. And so I said, cutesy me, okay. I said, well, you know what, Sim? I will call you anytime and I'll be your accountability buddy. And she said, I think that that's wonderful. But you know what? I just had the realization that I'm on the autism spectrum and I know this, and I hate people. I don't like people. I avoid people. Tech is what I do. I have a sales team that deals with people. I just realized that it's my autism that is stopping me from getting the support that I need. So through collaboration, she always knew that she was on the spectrum and that she's brilliant, no question. But did she feel it? Did she care? No. But through collaboration, you make realizations that you never would have realized before. And that's what happens when people get together. You get ideas, and those ideas just, flourish. And I'm thinking of musicians that collaborate with other musicians and they put something together, or in the film industry, or wherever you have creative minds and even not so creative minds. those not so creative minds can bring in what they have to say. And that's important too, because not everybody's creative. So, boom, I think I spoke more than necessary, but
No, you did,
wow.
you did fine as always. And you know, when you look at uh, group support,
Yeah,
you know, I
amazing.
kind of look at this because, again, I've been doing this every day for so long, and I'm so excited by it. Is it's like this is my home team. You know, now that we're in the football season, everybody's got a college team or everybody's got a
Yeah,
professional
yes.
team, and it's usually because of their city or some relationship to that city. And when I look at our home team here, of course, when Kelly hits a big win or Harvey starts a show, because you know what it is? It's an effort, it's an initiative, it's something beyond what someone's used to. When someone says, I fear, what they're also saying is fear is not stopping me, though, right?
That's right.
You can admit that you feel, and you should, in a sense, but that should motivate you to overcome the fear, not to let it overcome you.
That's
And
right.
it would be a terrible story for someone who said, I was planning on doing something I always loved, but my fear took over and I decided not to do it, right? Because then you would feel sympathy instead of hope. And this show is also starting to demonstrate what empowerment does, because that's what
Hmm.
the power of Empower has done. It's empowered people to think differently, act differently, be differently, and also have a choice to do a wholesale exchange of 5 or 10 people they spend the most time with, right? Because in
Yeah.
the past, it's like, well, I talk to my sister, I talk to my uncle, but you talk one on one on occasion. Half of
Hmm.
them don't know anything about what you're doing or what you're talking about. And you know that, and they know that, but they're there to for just support because they love you or want something good from
Sure.
you. And here's one other thing I've noticed about what this community does is, unlike families or relationships that you're married to, and they could be business relationships, personal, social, whatever, romantic. Here you have to always be on your best behavior because you could just throw everything away by losing your mind one day, right? If someone was to go off on something or somebody, it would be, you couldn't unring that bell. But when you take people for granted that they're not going anywhere no matter what, to a point, people
Right.
then take that as license to, well, I'm just going to be lazy today and you're going to have to take care of everything, right? Or I'm going off fishing. I didn't care what else was going. I mean, things like that. Here you can't do that. So it actually forces you to be on your better behavior. And if you're in front of the camera, it even forces you to be on your much better behavior because now it's your brand. It's not just a comment back and forth to a person. And how do you want that to be projected? So if everybody straightens up a little higher every day, a little bit stronger every day, double check something to make sure, hey, this is as good as I can be. That's where the collaboration starts taking place because some people collaborate for money, some people collaborate for thought leadership, some people collaborate just to be with someone else. And,
Sure.
you
And
know,
Dennis just said, and I think that's really great. Thanks for reminding us teamwork still works and matters. And it's team in business, it's team family, it's team sports team. It's we're giving, we're taking, we're thinking, we're collaborating. And I was thinking of this topic and I said, how can I talk for an hour on this simple word collaboration, Doc? Okay. I'm thinking to myself, right? So I'm spinning that off to my husband, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. You're going to talk about anything. You'll talk for the hour. I said, I don't know what I'm going to talk about for, oh, yeah, I could do this in 5 minutes. And then, not an hour, but oh, yes, all kinds of ideas of horrors came to mind. And that's so wonderful when you start thinking of things that you have been doing. You're kind of collaborating with yourself. Okay. So this morning in Facebook, because I'm primarily there, I put in my group this diagram, and I'll show it to you because I said it's really about perspective. And then I said, hey, that's collaboration. Now, this may come in reverse. I don't know if you see it. Do you?
Reverse.
Well, is it, do you see the word perspective backwards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, it says perspective. Okay. So it's really a circle. And then you have one person saying it's a circle, someone else saying it's a wheel, someone else saying it's a pie, and then someone else saying it's a planet, someone else saying it's a ball. Now, if you take a look, it's a circle, but everybody's right. So when you have a team, you're collaborating in your thinking because everybody's right. And nobody should just stand on that principle and say, no, this is a circle. If you see it as a planet, or a child does a first drawing, and they do the stick figure and they do the head and two sticks and the hands coming out of the head, right? And you could say, that's not a person. Yes, it is. That's how the child can draw it. Well, what you see is so important. It may not be the way you see it, but if other people see it and you can collaborate with their thinking, some of course you can reject, some of course you don't need, but collaboration is at least understanding it's not just you, and that builds you up. So from that simple little drawing, which I posted on Perspective, here we go. It changed my perspective completely on the word perspective and made it collaboration because this is what we do. All of us, ideas come from somewhere, not just from us. Me, Beverly, this morning, the word collaboration, nada. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that complements that. And that's why it's easy for me to do any word. I mean, we could say cream cheese, right? And that would create memories of that. And maybe we get into texture and whatever is the trust one has in the audience and the fellow host that it's really about us and exchanging thoughts. It's not about the object that creates the thoughts, right? How many people view something, see it, and never repeat it, never share it?
Right.
When it's just like it's a starter, So, you start with this, and where it goes is where people bring it. And then when they bring it there, other people see it, and then they take it from there that they could have
Yes.
started at the first step. So, it's like a relay race, right? Someone runs their distance and gives the baton, right?
Yes.
They run their distance, give the baton. Some people run the first leg because that's what they do. Other people, usually the fastest, run the last leg to try
Mhm.
to catch up. And you have a strategy, but they all know when the time is to get the baton and the time is to release the baton. And I
Yes.
think collaboration is, if you want to build on it, it has to be shared and discussed, right? Because there's one thing to communicate, here's what we should do together. And
Right.
then you say, let's do it. And then after it, you say, let's talk about what we just did, right? Because that could lend it
100%.
to, hey, another step, or hey, let's do it again. And I
Yeah.
think that's the key. If you launch something, you got to keep putting fuel in it. You got to keep driving it when maybe it won't drive by itself, or maybe the other person doesn't get it, doesn't feel it, isn't as motivated as you. That's where you got to
No.
say, okay, I'll take care of this one for us. If you do this, I'll do that, right? Because
Yeah.
you're hoping to get the benefit, but you're also hoping to show the benefit to the person where now they call you up and say, I get it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do more of it. Let's get
Yeah.
to, well, Ashif has a good one. Um, You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Good
Hmm.
idea. Some wise guy. Successful people
Ideas.
collaborate to create. This will be a next inspiration. Hope. Dennis, and then we should have a chief on the show. I'm waiting. A chief. Agree. Collaborate is more positive and gets us to liberate our changes and
Yes.
upgrades us. Harvey is biting at the bit for the new show. Dennis, I'm asking a favor. Can you rhyme on the show? Help me get through. Your comments are good. They make me smile. Well, Dennis, it's so nice to be valued and recognized by Harvey. And Harvey is going to be so amazed when the show is over how easy and what a quality show he put on. Dennis,
Hmm.
feedback teaches us to feed forward. Kinga's here. I know Kinga's been really busy
Oh,
lately. Glad to see
hi,
you.
Kinga.
Practice does help with anything.
Yep.
Leslie comes back with Harvey Tuckwell. That felt good to read. Good for you, Leslie. Harvey Tuck, you're going to crush it. Wow, you got 7 yeses before you even open up.
There you go. Yes.
I love you guys, Kelly. Well, we love you, and
Yeah, yeah.
all of us are lovable, and that's a great attribute to have. Wendy Weissman must be here. Leslie says buy their lunch, find a way for sure. Maria's here. Maria's great. I owe Maria a phone call. OG's here. Haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you. Dennis says agree. Support is super. OG says, anyone looking for artwork? Well, maybe. Uh, Dennis says your bottom line can be improved by using your top creative positive line. And fine.
That's a good
Christine's
one.
here. I actually watched one of her posts today. She did a great video. I agree with Beverly. Collaborating with other scholars in my cohort helped come up with an abundance of ideas I never thought I was
Yep.
capable of. Hey, proof is in the
Amazing.
Carrie's back with why did the mustard go to the pharmacy? Because it was feeling a little saucy. Okay.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah, always a bright joke there. Leslie, this is looking for the greatness in others. Uh, Let me keep going. Leslie comes back with, and our own greatness grows in direct proportion to finding it in others and encouraging others. It always there. I will always find it for sure. You will. Dennis comes back with thanks for reminding us teamwork still works and matters. Kelly is the beauty of that comment is that Harvey talked down. And I will be talking teamwork on Thursday. Great, they're going to be here. See, it's that's where collaboration starts to fill into all kinds of areas. I would rather do more with less people than less with more people. I'd rather
Yep.
have deeper, richer connections, people who are solid, valuable, trustworthy because they know your value and they don't want to do anything to diminish that. So every time they help you, they help themselves with you. And it's what they call goodwill. And you want to keep
Yes.
depositing goodwill with everybody and hopefully never drawing on it. If you make a lot of money, you don't want to go back and take out what you made. You want to keep adding. And if you never withdraw it, you'll leave it to someone and they'll get the benefit that you didn't need but had available. Dennis comes back with you don't know how to walk the talk, thanks. Ashief says, tough times don't last, tough teams do. Robert Schuller, what a great quote. Uh,
Mhm.
Beverly, love it with a big yes. Dennis,
Yeah.
is collaboration creates a real circle and you're on a roll and avoid the unknown toll. Leslie is Christine. Carrie, thanks. Nice to be here, Christine. And Christine was here 8 months ago, 7 months ago. She's been a really great supporter and inspiration
Yes.
for a lot of people. Last leg relay gal here. I love relay races more than the individual events. So much more fun to share and uh, joy as a team because it is that one handoff that's so
Yep.
important. If you miss that, you can say goodbye to the race. Chief says, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Helen Keller. And why not? It's more fun
Yeah.
with someone else. It's more interesting. You ever take a drive all by yourself? It can be so boring at times. Some people love that quiet time, but at a certain point, it's nice to see somebody next to you somebody, it's company. And I think that's where social people really start, is in these type of venues. Leslie says everyone sees the image unique to everyone else. There are many perspectives as there are people. So yes, we are all right. Leslie has
Mhm,
really taken over. Take the
mhm.
things that resonate, let go of the things that don't work for you. This is how we learn from one another. So true.
Yeah,
Uh, Consider that all ideas are already here and circulate via the ether to and through us to manifest. Well, Leslie is
it's
definitely a
all,
believer in
yeah,
the universe working in your behalf if you start working in your behalf. Yes, it is true.
yes,
That's what Petra says. And Leslie says, and when we don't fulfill the idea and someone else does, consider it because you let it go so it recirculates. Then you see your idea from someone else. And you go into a we mentality instead of a me mentality. It doesn't
right.
matter where it came from. It just matters that it's there and now you can use it, right? If someone sends you a big check,
Totally.
I mean, you still cash it, So I think the key is to see the wealth, the richness in the people around you, not in what you have in your pocket, because that can come and go. People will
Mhm.
be there if you deserve them and what you've done for them to be there. So Beverly, I mean, this thing moves so
Oh,
quick.
so much to say, and particularly with all these wonderful comments that keep on coming in, like Petra, collaboration is so important. It's so true. But a lot of people hate collaboration, and I think we should respect that too, because there are people that want to do it themselves. It's like, this person bothers me, that person is in their own head, this person wants to take over the room, this person is always late. When you're dealing with other people, there are people problems that go along with it. And so, what's also really important, particularly if you're putting away along a team in business, there are all kinds of good psychological tests because all of us have our superpowers. And if you are put in a position where you're using what's not your superpower, let me tell you, that is going to upset somebody else. So there are also simple tests that you can give. You don't have to be a psychologist to do it. They're online, they're on the internet. And for me, when I'm taking a look at the way I operate, I'm what's called in the Colby anyway, which is a simple business test. I'm called a quick start. So I have ideas, I'll get there quickly. But then, am I a good implementer? Ah, yes. I have the ideas, I can put them together, I can make them work. But let me tell you, that's where I get bored. And there are people that love implementation. And those people should be on my team. They are on my team, thank goodness. Okay. But you have to know what you need. And if you expect to be everything in a collaboration, that's where you start to see, no, I'm good at that. Let go of what you're not good at. And then you will rise higher in anything you do. So whether it's a team sport, I'm a great finisher, I'm a great spurter at the end, or I'm a great starter, whatever it is, look at your strong suits and build on what you know, use your superpower and allow other people to build on their superpower, and everyone will rise together. And that makes a great team. It makes businesses collaborate with other businesses in movies. And of course, we can take a look at all the arts. It's all collaborative. And we need each other all the time. So, yeah, if you keep on collaborating, you lift yourself higher, you raise other people higher. And it's all about making us bigger and making us better and being happier, by the way, by doing more with less aggravation because you're working with your own superpower. You're not killing yourself to get there,
Mhm.
you're lifting yourself up.
Yeah, that's so
I
perfect
love it.
and so well articulated. I also want to remind everybody that Kelly's show, The Awesome Journey, follows Harvey's show today. So we got
Wow.
a triple header, and
Wow.
Kelly's show is at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Time. Harvey's is at 12:15 Eastern Time. Christy Howard's with Kelly, another good friend. So, you
Awesome.
know, I think that, again, the home team is playing in different leagues today, different arenas, different subjects. But you know what it does? It gives everybody another stepping stone to be with somebody a little longer than maybe when they used to be with them, to have their
Mhm,
style of show.
mhm.
I'm excited to be a co-host and not a host. It's been a while for that, and it's a learning, growing, changing experience. And anytime change is dynamic and continuous, there's always hope. If
Yes,
tomorrow someone says it will change, now it doesn't say how or when. What do you want to do to create that direction of change? What do you want to put
exactly,
in the suggestion box? Or are you just going to take potluck, whatever you want
exactly.
to, whoever calls you first, whoever asks you for something? And you know what happens? You end up in the habit of being the first to pay, the last to get paid, right?
Yes,
And I hear that so many times. I'm just such a giver. I can't say no. I get obligated to things I don't want, and I feel bad about myself later on for knowing I shouldn't have went there or done that, but I couldn't resist or whatever. And that's
yeah,
when a person shouldn't get down on themselves. What they should say is, I need more support, right? Because I
yes,
can lift
yes,
10 pounds, but when I get to 20, it falls out of my hands. As you say, well, do everything at 10, find a friend for the extra 10. And,
yes,
the answer is given to you. The
yes.
reaction, the response is yours to come back with. And usually, someone, if you start with, I'm sorry, that goes a long way when you
Yeah.
could be wrong. When you're definitely wrong, you don't have a choice in a sense. You should, and some people still don't do it and they want to justify and make it like,
Yeah,
here's why. But once you
yeah,
say, I'm sorry, that diffuses so much. Once you say thank you, that makes such a difference. Once you say you're welcome or hello or goodbye, it's only
as
when,
long as you're sincere, Dawn.
yeah, and that's the key is just follow your heart, what it tells you
Yeah,
should do.
yeah,
And your mind tells you what you can get away with not doing, maybe, or how you can
yeah,
get something and something. And, people overthink, underact, you know,
totally.
and if you just switch it around, because in most cases, there are no absolutes, it's a degree. I should have been a little more empathetic. I should have been a little bit more thoughtful. I mean,
Yeah,
I did okay. But I'm capable of much more, and I expect more from myself. And that's the difference. Is, hey, I did as much as they did, or even more. But so what? You're not them. They're not
sure.
you. And why does that come into your equation, right? If you want to build the tallest building in town, you got two ways. You can knock everything around you lower, or you can build higher. And I
Yeah,
think when you build higher, it gives other people who are your fans something to root for, but more importantly, something to grow towards, right?
100%.
Whoever opens that road is a beneficiary for everybody who follows it. So, you know, basically, we've come to the end of the show. I want to thank the audience. I want to
And
give Beverly a chance to give her final thoughts on collaboration. I always knew whatever the word, Beverly is still going to be the best Beverly can bring to the table. And it's Beverly's smile, it's her animation that really carries her message. And I think
thank
that's an
you.
important part of collaboration is how much energy, how much enthusiasm, how much excitement can you drum up authentically, right? That people know is authentic. I mean, people love people who share how they feel in words, in gestures, and everybody could look at, why not be better if I can? Why not take the, higher road? Because people
Right.
love that because so few people do that and they can. So, anyways, Beverly,
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Dawn, okay, because this whole show is collaborative. And without the audience and everybody here and all these comments that keep on coming and coming, it's like it's all about collaboration. I wish we could have read them all out because they're all supportive. And these supportive comments only lift us higher, which is exactly what I was saying in the first place. You know, it's people that bring together, whether we've read the comments, whether we haven't read the comments, they're appreciated because we know that you're there. And there are many people, though, that are listening, and that's wonderful too, because you're going to see that afterwards and you're going to see the analytics. And so, if we've made a difference, that's just absolutely awesome. And that's all it's really about, collaborating, thinking things through, changing our mindset, changing perspective so that we can just accept everybody's ideas and take them for what they're worth and collaborate them if you need them.
Wow,
My last
what a
comment.
way to finish. So with that said, I want to thank everybody.
Thank
Hope
you.
everybody has the opportunity to check out Harvey's show and Kelly's show and come back tomorrow. And tomorrow we've got a brand new guest, and I think you're going to find him
Wonderful.
fascinating. His name is Matthew Rolnick. He's a major player in social media, and
Awesome.
it's going to be just a great wealth of information. So proud to have him. Thursday is going to be Kelly and Harvey. And then Friday, we've got a new guest with Elizabeth. I have to get her name right. But she's going to be joining us. And then Saturday, we've got
Terrific.
Catherine and Leslie Flowers coming back. So have a wonderful
Awesome.
day, and we'll see you later somewhere. Take care.
Thank